company secrets. This is a video that I thought of doing when I realized that my working at Chipotle video, which I will put right here, got so many views, like more views than, okay, for a channel like mine, it got a lot of views. So that got me thinking, why don't I do a company secrets video? And I'm gonna be honest, there's not like a lot, but there are some good ones that you may need to know in your life. So let's begin. There are 5 key secrets that I'm about to tell you. Okay, by the way, I also worked at Chipotle a couple years ago, so things might have changed, but I wouldn't be surprised if these are still being done today because I don't know. Let me just begin. Number 1 is, okay, this one might be the most surprising and gross. So when you go to Chipotle, you have the rice, beans, and proteins in the first little line right there. And so you can see that the beans are usually pretty juicy. And people, I guess, really like their beans to be juicy. They don't want them to be dry. However, the bean juice is actually just sink water. There were several times that my service manager would look at the beans and be like, oh, they don't look juicy enough. And then pick it up, take it to the back to where we wash the dishes, use the little dish sink water, put some in and mix it up and then put it back into the line. And I mean, like, it's just water, it's tap water, except in my city, the tap water is really gross. However, it is just tap water and it just so happens to be, oh my, chill out. But yeah, it is just sink water that happens to come from the same place that we wash dishes. And so it is kind of nasty. I still eat it, honestly, and I just kind of forget about it. But yeah, it's actually sink water. It's not actual bean juice. Number 2, and this is kind of a hack for you guys, is that when we close, at least my store closed at 10, come in about literally 5 minutes before we close, because then we throw away all the chips, all the steak, the veggies, what else? Oh, the rice, the beans. I actually don't remember if you throw away the beans, but yes, we did have to throw away a lot of the food. And I remember taking home like 10 bags of chips, a whole bowl of steak sometimes home after my shift. Sometimes when customers came in literally right before close and they asked, you know, like, can I have some chips to go with my order? We would be like, you know, just take them because we're gonna throw them away in a few minutes anyway. And you know, it depends on the manager and the employees at that store at that time. But if you get lucky, there's no harm in asking, to be honest. So yeah, and I hate that restaurants have to throw away food. It's just, I wish there was a way where you could like funnel the funnel the day's food into like a place where people who are actually hungry need it, because if it's going to be thrown away anyway, then what the heck? All right, number 3, a little company secret, is that many of the food items come in a plastic bag, come shipped in a plastic bag. So for example, the sour cream, the queso, the beans, the medium salsa, the hot salsa. Things that are made fresh are like the rice, the chicken, well, all the meats, obviously. The guacamole. I can't remember if the mild salsa was made on house. Probably not. I actually don't remember. Whatever. But anyway, so a lot of the things come in a bag, and some of the things I always thought was a little like, ugh. Like the queso that came in a bag, it came like refrigerated, and then you just put it in a bucket of hot water, not a bucket, but like a little container of hot water to warm it up and make it all fluid again. It was just kind of like, ooh, that is really processed. I mean, we all knew that, but you know, just the fact it came in like a silly bag. You know the bags of milk that you would get in school? That's like what everything looked like. Okay, here's another little hack. This is number 4. And you probably already know this, and I'm sure people have talked about it before, but it's kind of like those Starbucks hacks or whatever, like, oh, you can get more food this way. Well, instead of getting a burrito or tacos, then you can get a bowl with a lot more food in it and then ask for tortillas on the side. And that way you get a lot more food and you save some money in that way. However, I personally never like to do that because I just wanted someone else to make it for me. I was lazy. So that's just like up to preference for you if you would rather like make your own and get more food, or just have them make it, be lazy and eat it. But yeah, that's a thing. Number 5 little company thing secret is there is a secret menu list, I guess. But the secret menu item that was most popular was called a quesarito. And it was basically just, you had 2 tortillas and you melted cheese between them in the little press, which they don't do that anymore. They have an actual like quesadilla machine thing. But anyway, they make a quesadilla and then they fill that quesadilla with whatever you want. And then you roll it up, and it was the worst to roll because it's so messy. The cheese is all sticky and oily, and then you have to roll it up. Because usually the people who order quesadillas want a lot of food inside of their burrito as well as the quesadilla. And so like they usually ordered so much stuff and it was so hard to roll. Anyway, I'm having flashbacks. Burrito rolling was some of the most scary times of my life, when the customer's like staring at you doing it and you're brand new at rolling burritos. It took me a long time to learn how to do it, and it was really embarrassing when I was like the only one on the line and I had to call someone from the back like, hey, can you roll this? But yeah, if you want something really like sick, nasty good, then you should probably try a quesarito. I don't know if they still allow you to make those anymore, because I remember when I started working, a little secret menu item was nachos. And that's when they put chips in a bowl and they would just like fill the bowl with stuff on top of it, obviously just nachos. But my manager was trying to put that to an end when I got there. Like he was saying, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. So depending on your store, that may or may not be a thing you can ask for, but doesn't hurt to ask. So those were my 5 big little company secrets. Honestly, there aren't that many because I think Chipotle is pretty clean with what it's doing. It's not anything like super terrible. The biggest, grossest thing I think is the sink water and the beans. But whatever, if you can look past that, it's not going to harm you probably. Anyway, those are Chipotle company secrets. If you haven't seen my other Chipotle video, then I will put it, well, I already put it earlier, but I'll put it here again if you want to check that out. I made that when I had like freshly quit, so it was more fresh on my mind. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.